Ayatollah Ali Hosseini Khamenei lived a life shaped by ideology, power, struggle, and unwavering conviction. Born in 1939 in Mashhad, Iran, he emerged from religious training and early activism against the Shah's regime. His experiences of protest, imprisonment, and exile in his youth forged a mindset deeply rooted in resistance and resilience, and laid the foundation for his future role as one of the most powerful figures of late 20th and early 21st century Iran. Khamenei's core lesson about life was often tied to firmness in principle and faith in purpose. He believed that life should be spent with steadfast dedication to values greater than personal comfort, whether those were religious faith, national sovereignty, or collective solidarity. For him, life was not a pursuit of fleeting pleasures, but a continuous struggle to uphold beliefs and confront forces he viewed as unjust or hegemonic. In his worldview, individual existence gains meaning through commitment to a higher cause and steadfastness in the face of adversity. Another central thread in his life advice was resilience. Khamenei often emphasized the need to stand firm against intimidation, external pressure, and internal dissent. Whether in theology or politics, he conveyed that strength of character is measured by one's ability to endure hardship, persevere despite setbacks, and remain disciplined even when isolated in conviction. For him, life was not meant to be passive. It was a battlefield where unwavering resolve defines legacy. Throughout his long tenure as Iran's supreme leader, beginning in 1989, Khamenei frequently spoke about the importance of unity and solidarity. Domestically, he urged cohesion among the people to resist what he described as cultural, economic, and political encroachments by Western powers, particularly the United States and Israel. Internationally, he framed Iran's regional involvement not as intervention, but as solidarity with oppressed communities, backing groups in Lebanon, Palestine, and Yemen as part of a broader axis of resistance against what he saw as imperialistic domination. Khamenei's idea of solidarity was grounded in his interpretation of justice. He believed that the powerful should not dictate the fate of the weak, and that standing with those who struggle against perceived aggression was a moral imperative. He often rejected the idea that cultural or religious differences should separate nations, arguing instead for alliances built around resistance to domination. This shaped Iran's foreign policy for decades and influenced how many of his followers understood global power dynamics. In advising young people and society at large, Khamenei stressed self-sufficiency and independence. He urged individuals not to rely entirely on external systems for their livelihood or worldview, but to develop their capabilities, strengthen their communities, and carve paths of progress rooted in self-respect. This advice extended to economics, culture, and national governance, each seen as arenas where external influence should be resisted and national agency defended. Yet life lessons from Khamenei were not solely about confrontation. He also underscored the value of morality, education, and intellectual engagement. He believed that a truly strong society must cultivate knowledge, uphold moral rectitude, and prepare each generation not just to survive, but to think deeply about their responsibilities. His worldview linked personal character to national destiny. Moral consciousness, intellectual rigor, and purposeful action would shape a society's future. Khamenei's leadership was deeply polarizing. Admirers saw him as a symbol of resistance and a guardian of national sovereignty rooted in faith. Critics condemned his record of crackdowns on dissent, restrictions on freedoms, and controversial regional involvement, arguing that his policies brought hardship and isolation to many inside Iran. On March 1, 2026, Iranian state media reported that Khamenei died at age 86 in an airstrike by the U.S. and Israel that destroyed his central compound, marking an abrupt end to his decades of rule. His death was mourned by supporters and marked with national mourning, while internationally it triggered both condemnation and celebration in different circles, reflecting the deeply contentious legacy he leaves behind. In summary, Khamenei's life lesson about how to spend life can be distilled into unyielding conviction in one's values, resilience against perceived oppression, solidarity with those seen as struggling for justice, and disciplined pursuit of intellectual and moral strength, all anchored in his interpretation of faith and politics. His life remains a vivid example of how personal belief can shape national destiny and ignite both loyalty and controversy.